welcome to For The Drive, and on this episode of Friends of For The Drive I am taking a look at this stunning beauty. What we have here is a 2018 Alpine A110 in the Alpine Blue, which, as you guys probably know by now, is a fantastic colour and obviously my preferred choice, maybe only beaten by the incredible green that they do. The name actually escapes me at the moment, but it is a stunning colour. But to be fair, as a big blue car fan, this is a big winner. And say, in the sun, it absolutely glistens. This is the 1.8 turbocharged inline 4, producing about 250 brake horsepower, about 236 pounds of foot torque, which gets you to 62 in about 4.5 seconds. This is going to be quite an interesting one for me because obviously, as you guys probably already also know, that I am a big Porsche Cayman fan, and this is widely renowned as the Cayman beta or competitor, so I am very interested to see what it's like to play about with on the roads and get a proper feel for it is in everyday use. So I think without further ado, let's get on with it. So I am joining the driver in the cockpit and the owner, Michael. Thank you very much for coming out and doing this with me today.
You're welcome.
What made you buy this? Because you've had quite an interesting history of cars.
Yeah, I mean, I've been through, you know, lots of different types of cars over the last 10 or more than 10 years now. So I mean, I first started enjoying driving with, I had a Mini, so an R53 Mini Cooper S. And that kind of drew out that enjoyment of something that was kind of very go-kart-esque.
Yeah.
And then, you know, I went to try lots of other different cars. I had a R35 GTR, I've had a RS3, I've had a M4, and, you know, I think like most of the cars these days, they seem to be targeting a lot of headline figures in terms of horsepower and torque, and at the same time they seem to be getting a lot heavier than, you know, back in the day when the R53 was, you know, just over a ton as well. So I took a test drive with an Alpine A110S. So the S is a lot harder.
Yeah. Little bit faster, tiny
little bit
more,
faster,
but
a bit more.
Not much, to be fair.
Power,
it's only 0.1 of a second faster.
Yeah.
To 62 anyway.
And I took it for a test drive, and I thought, oof, this is a bit too hard.
Okay.
Because
suspension, right? Like ride height.
Yeah, it's very
comfortable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, it's a lot harder than a standard S. I mean, a standard car.
Yeah.
I mean, Alpine themselves say it's not the model up; it's just a different take on an Alpine. So, whereas they say the standard one is more for day-to-day UK roads, the S is more for track.
Okay. So it's not a tier level as such. It's just what your intended purpose of the car is.
Exactly.
Okay, that's interesting.
So I like the car. It's well built. It's, you know, well put together. The quality is, like you say, is pretty good. So I enjoyed that, and, you know, in some of the roads we took in the S were good fun.
I mean, that's nice. That's very nice.
Yeah, I mean, but it just, you know, when you hit the bumps, it was just too harsh.
Yeah.
Modern driving, and especially some of the roads that we have around where we live.
Yes, some of them are particularly bumpy.
So I thought, yeah, I like the Alpine, but I think I would go for the standard one.
Yeah.
So then I kept a lookout. I realised that I was going to get a good price for the M4, so I sold the M4, waiting for the opportunity to buy an Alpine, and then this one came up. So it was second hand, but it was a Premier Edition. So it's basically a basic spec, but with all the options ticked. So sports exhaust, telemetry, bigger brakes, say belt seats, all the kind of metal finishing, like the kick plate you've got there.
Oh yeah.
on the passenger side. So it literally had everything I kind of wanted in the car. So rather than buying a new one and then having to tick the options box, I thought, I'll go for this. And when I picked it up the day after, I just went to Wales with it for a few days. And I have to say, it completely justified buying the car.
What would you say is the best thing about it? What makes, as you say, like the agility is high up on that list, I imagine.
Yes.
But if you could kind of pick one particular thing that just goes, this is the reason why I still love it, and why you haven't changed.
I would say the way it feels on roads. It just flows with the road. It flows with the corner. You don't feel like you're beating the road to submission like some cars do. It just flows with the road. It just has that natural organic feeling on the road. It's because it's just not too hard, but it's still planted enough that you can still have fun with it, and you can still carry insane amounts of speed into bends. I would say that's the main thing. So even like mundane roads, like have a bit of a, they have a few bends, whatever. It's not the best road in the world, but driving this, it just makes you feel you're one with the road, really. I think that's the best way I can put it.
What would you say is the bad points about it? And yes, I know that you've had a few. They are minor. I would say that they're not extreme, but obviously they're still aggravating. Like, for any car owner to have a problem with their car is unpleasant, and really can put a dampener on the ownership joy and things like that. But
I would say, it's a hard one, but I think storage space, unfortunately, is going to crop up high on the list, because interior very well put together, but in terms of storage space, that's severely lacking, I would say.
Yes, that's where I would say that in terms when it come back to the Cayman comparison between these two cars, that's sadly Porsche win that hands down, because their frunk is so deep. You can get decent, like either upright suitcases or two or three suitcases flat together, and then you've got a decent-ish boot at the back. Whereas I know that your boot can just fit a duffel bag in the front. Height-wise, it's quite a bit. It's nowhere near as deep.
Correct.
And your boot is very small.
Let's say my rear boot is about the size of a normal car's glove box.
Which is a shame, because like a car that's as usable daily on the road for long trips and things, especially if you're on your own, maybe you can be able to stash your stuff places. But with two of you, how would you get two 3-night an overnight bag easily with a few other bits and pieces? I think that's where you'd struggle, which is, as you say, where it kind of sadly falls down.
So I think I would like to take it on a continental road trip. But then if I'm with my wife, then I'll be like, that might be a bit tight. Maybe I should pack one pair of pants or something.
Find the local laundrette every day.
If I'm doing a track day as well, then the helmet takes up half the boot already.
Yes.
So it's difficult.
So what have you, in terms of modification, have you done a lot? As you say, because it came pretty spec'd as you wanted, have you felt the need to do a lot to it?
Well, there's a guy out there who set up his own company called Blyton Park, and he does a lot of modifications for the car. So in terms of things that I've done, appearance-wise, I've done a couple of things. I've had these paddles fitted, so they're a lot longer and they're a lot more within touch of your hand, so they're more natural to change gear.
What were the other ones, like plastic?
Yeah, plastic, whereas these are kind of milled metal. I don't know exactly what the material is. I've done a few cosmetics in the engine bay. I think performance-wise, I've had custom springs fitted.
Okay, nice.
So standard, as I said, they're very good on the road, but he produced some with springs which minimal impact on the ride comfort, but it reduces the body roll of the car quite significantly.
Okay.
So it's good fun with the body roll, but it just, with the springs, it's just a lot tighter now.
Oh, nice.
So you do have that additional confidence,
yeah,
when you're cornering as well.
So the dreaded question is, as always at the end of this, is what would you replace it with?
That's an extremely good question. I honestly, looking at all the cars that are around,
just sitting there, just going, "This is nice. This is nice."
I mean, honestly, looking at the cars around, there's nothing out there which I would honestly say I would even consider it. I mean, the Emira has to be the obvious one, I think, but
Bit of a price hike.
It's almost, I think, for the V6, it's almost double the price of this car.
Not far off, depending on spec.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
you could easily spec up the Emira to be double what this would cost. Because this, I mean, I don't know what I think the current ones are about 40, the new 45, something like that.
Yeah. Exactly.
So yeah, I mean, the Emira starts at like high 60s, low 70s.
Yeah.
Depending on other spec options, you're not far off double.
So for the price, the value, performance, all that, there's nothing out there that I would say, yep, I'd consider swapping this for. I don't, you've known me long enough that I like to change my cars quite often, and I think for the first time I've found a car which I don't see myself getting rid of.
No.
If I had the means, I'd add to it, but I would never get rid of it, I think.
Right.
The other thing that I've fitted is a induction panel, so basically you hear a lot more induction noise than you do standard.
Oh, okay. Well, that's not standard, is it? Oh, okay. I do like, again, from the track day, the paddles. It threw me originally because my paddles go with the steering wheel.
Right.
But
okay.
these are much more like the Maserati paddles that are fixed. But being so long, it's actually really good because you can easily reach them. So keeping your hands left and right at the steering wheel, it's actually no problem at all. Which, as I say, they are quite nice and quite tactile compared to my micro switch ones that I have. This seat feels lower. Have you lowered the seat?
No, I think it's lowered by the previous owner.
Ah, okay. Because this I am now like perfect for the windscreen, whereas you look a little high. I'm like, well, we're not that much taller than me. You're a tiny bit maybe.
It's weird because I obviously I don't sit in the passenger seat quite a lot in this car, and I sat in it and I thought, hang on a minute, why can't I see?
I can't see the road. I was like, where's the sky gone? Steering wheel's great. I do like the dash and the different modes that it cycles through is a nice touch.
It is, yeah.
The thing that I like, which again kind of really showed on the track day, which again get same experience now, is how ready the engine is. With turbos, you always got to have to deal with that kind of small amount of turbo lag, or if you're driving underneath the turbo, you put your foot down, it's like, oh, then you get going.
Yeah.
But this is just like, just so responsive, so quick. And the gearbox as well, obviously working in conjunction together, just giving you that kind of immediate power delivery It's one of those things, it's like the Porsche actually, very similar, that it gives you confidence to have a bit of fun. But I say one thing that it does do that the Porsche, or certainly not from the level of driving that I can do, you get a little bit more live feedback in terms of like, okay, because you say it's not as clinical.
Yeah.
It's a bit more fun, a bit more kind of have a play with me.
Yeah.
It's just the noise pedal, that's what I like. It's like, make some revs and then here, go pop, 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 pop.
I mean, it's weird because in the beginning when I got the car, it never made the noise.
And did it not?
No, and I was just wondering, well, you know, when I brought the car, it was on, like, how many miles was it on? I think it was on around less than that, less than 20k.
Okay.
You'd think the exhaust would be, you know,
Warmed up and worn in.
Warmed up and worn in, but
Yeah.
I think since I've driven it, it's just got the pops and bangs a lot more. It's a lot more throatier.
Yeah. Maybe the previous owner didn't drive it properly.
Nah, that's what I'm thinking.
So that ends today's episode of Frenzy for the Drive. I mean, I'll be honest, we had a slight issue on the battery of the GoPro interior, so sadly it faded out a little bit earlier than I'd intended. But what an experience, say, as we mentioned on the video, while driving, that the car just gives you such an experience, it gives you such great feedback, and obviously helps you enjoy the car, but kind of tells you when you're being a little bit silly, and obviously just the noise and the drama and stuff is just fantastic. So I loved obviously experiencing it at the track day, and also now a little bit more real world on the road. So a huge thank you to Michael for coming out and let me driving it once again, and obviously talking about his reasons for buying it and what he loves about it. But that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed it as much as I did. Thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. See you guys later.